Listen, before we begin, you guys know the drill. If you enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed. It would mean a lot. This is a new channel, I'm trying to get it started, so if you do like it, please subscribe. Over the past few months, I've subjected myself to playing a brand new game for me. You know, I thought I'd just play a little, get bored, and go back to playing Minecraft with the boys, but I have over 50 hours in this game. Yeah, I'm kind of a gamer. About a third of the way through playing Dark Souls Remastered, I experienced the feeling of knowing that I would be making a video on this, and that I would have to spend the next few weeks editing a video on this. It's a weird feeling knowing that I want to make a video on it while I'm playing it, and that feeling only grew as I got stronger, took down bosses, and increased my loser stat. But I had such a great time playing Dark Souls that by the end of it, I got that feeling about 10 times over, and I know that for the rest of this year I'm probably going to be playing and beating every single Souls game. I'm actually playing Bloodborne right now, so if this video does well, then maybe I'll do a video on Bloodborne. Who knows? I'm assuming if you're watching this video, then you've seen a lot of Dark Souls video analysis before, like I have, so I'm not going to retread old water here. The best thing about Dark Souls, in my opinion, is that even though everyone played the same game, everyone's experiences will be completely different because that's just the sort of game Dark Souls is. And today, I'll be taking you on my experience. Dark Souls came to me at a time when life was perfectly normal. I wasn't depressed, I wasn't sad, I was just having a regular teenage life. But as is probably common for teenagers, I just had this sense of nagging boredom. I hate school, and going home to play video games just wasn't doing it for me anymore. I could edit for people all day long and earn that sweet cash, but what did it actually mean? Well, eventually, after watching way too much YouTube, Internet Pit Stop's video on Dark Souls came into my life. And considering he's my favourite guy on the platform, his video really resonated with me like they always do.
I stopped beating my meat.
I'd always known about the Souls games, but like so many others, the difficulty of them scared me away. Made me think I'd be useless at the games before I'd even tried them. I quit before I even reached the start line. But Internet Pit Stop's video made me think I should at least give it a go, and well, here we are.
My pants are soiled.
Dark Souls Remastered is one of two video games that's been able to keep me entranced for way too long. The other one being Minecraft, which I was basically playing since I was out the womb, so. And funnily enough, Dark Souls cured my boredom, but it did more than that. It taught me not to write things off before I give them a go. Let me give you some examples. I'm not going to go over the whole story of Dark Souls, I'm not going to tell you my entire journey, just 3 key events that made me fall in love with the game and taught me some valuable lessons. If you want to see people actually play the game and who are really funny and helpful, check out these guys. Event numero uno, the absolute mastery of Dark Souls game design. It's been said a million times before, but Firelink Shrine may just be the best place in video game history. It weaves its way throughout the world, connecting to everything. Graveyards, New Londo, the Undead Parish, the Serpent Guy, the big crow thing. It's the center of everything in a bleak, desolate world, but somehow it feels the safest place. The feeling of seeing all these places and locked doors and enemies that are way too strong for you now might seem really overwhelming, but it also shows the progress that you make really well. Each door you open, each place you explore, hell, each step you take in Dark Souls is progress. There were days I didn't beat any bosses, but just finding a new shortcut or hearing the soothing music of Firelink Shrine is probably my favourite thing about Dark Souls 1. I love seeing players move in and out of the campfire. It just reinforces that feeling that Firelink Shrine is a communal place, you know? It's amazing, and seeing Firelink Shrine change and flourish as I bring new NPCs back to it is one of my favourite things about it, and is very unique to the whole Souls genre as a whole, that I can, interact with someone, actually bring them back to this hub, and then continue to have exchanges and interactions with them for the entirety of the game. It's brilliant. Lesson 2. That was 3 fingers. Lesson 2. The harsh, gut-wrenching truth. Picture me, you're ornstein and smough. You've proved your worth at Dark Souls already, having beaten a number of bosses, but this is the first true challenge, the first true hurdle for you to overcome in your playthrough. So I fought Ornstein and smough for hours, and I mean it, painstakingly learning their attacks, dodging and weaving and healing, but to no avail. In 30 attempts, I'd never even killed one of them. And in a moment of weakness, after hours of failure, I said to myself, just this once, I'll summon somebody in to help. It's not like it's gonna help that much. It helped a lot. In fact, it helped so much that the NPC pretty much completely served up Ornstein and smough for breakfast, and I was left with a feeling of emptiness as the victory screen popped up. I hadn't earned this victory. I couldn't go back on it, but this wasn't right. I didn't have that feeling of relief satisfaction and joy that I had when I fought the bosses by myself. This isn't to bash anyone that uses summons. I mean, you can play the game how you want and they're there for you to help. But for me, I promised myself I'd never use them again from that point onwards. I felt robbed of a true victory, and that's why one day I'll go back and I will fight them myself on one of my probably very many subsequent playthroughs of Dark Souls. The third thing I learnt in Dark Souls is tied to my favourite fight in the game. No, my favourite fight in video game history. Artorias of the Abyss was the toughest fight for me in the entire game, even more than ornstein and smough. You're seeing footage of my many attempts to fight Artorias now, and I'm really glad I got to record the fights and record the progress. You know what I talked about earlier? How progress was progress no matter how small, even if it was just one step at a time. Artorias reinforced that for me. His attacks were brutal, fast and unrelenting, not to mention he buffs himself during the fight to get bigger and better. But I realised that while fighting him, even though he was definitely all of these things, it still felt fair and it still felt feasible that I could beat him. And this kept going until I got good. Yeah, I said it. I said the thing, I know. I got good at dodging, I learned how to time my attacks. And by attempt 30, instead of feeling demotivated, I felt more motivated than ever. Artorias taught me not to give up and that even in defeat, there is the thrill of progress. It may look like 30 long defeats until the eventual win, but you don't see the progress that goes into the 30 long defeats. And that's taught me a real lesson that I'm exploring right now. I've tried to have a YouTube channel before, but after 300 videos and way too much time, I didn't even hit 600 subscribers. I took my defeats and I gave up on it, which I'm determined not to let happen here. This is only my 4th video on this channel, so I don't know if it's going to be a defeat or a win, but I do know that I'm not going to give up until I get a win and keep winning over and over again. As dumb as it sounds, Dark Souls really did teach me that I could be so resilient, and that given enough time to learn the boss and learn what you're up against, anyone can beat pretty much anything. Dark Souls taught me that the results you see are equivalent to the time and effort you put in, the determination you feed it, and that's why I hope that you can enjoy every single video from now on this channel. Thank you for watching, and remember, don't you dare go hollow.